when you start a really big war, it has a way of spilling over onto other people and into other areas. And so suddenly oil prices start to rise up until we know that they've been up in the $70, $75 a barrel range, which means the prices go up at the pumps because the gasoline companies can organize that. So what happened in 2005 was ExxonMobil achieved a record profit of $35 billion. Now, it almost seems like way too much money to even know what the hell it means. But we had an economist make an estimate for us that $7 billion of that $35 billion was simply because of the market conditions created by this war. If we didn't have a war, that would be $7 billion that ExxonMobil would not have earned in the year 2005. Furthermore, there have been studies that indicate that in that same time period, $25 billion was pulled out of the U.S. economy. That means out of the consumer pocketbook because of these levels of gasoline prices. So the whole of the economy has had, I guess, what's his name who had the large sucking sound on the bureaucracy, Perot. What this war created for ExxonMobil was a huge vacuum cleaner that sucked money out of everybody's pocket. They did not have to charge the prices that they charged for oil, but they chose to do that in collusion with these other major oil companies. I went into a gas station in a small town in Vermont where I go, and one of the Citgo people said, you know, we don't want to charge this amount for gas, but we've been ordered to charge up what ExxonMobil is charging if we want to keep getting gas. So there's an internal structure within our gasoline market system that will allow ExxonMobil and these other companies to set prices. The federal government has never undertaken any kind of investigation of this price fixing for the very reason that I was talking about at the beginning. Lyndon Johnson's creation of an oil pipeline into American politics. Now, not only did ExxonMobil get to be overly rich by $7 billion, at the very same time, before the war, running up to the war, during the war, they were the biggest seller of petroleum to the Pentagon. It was only in the last year that they were challenged, or last 2 years they were challenged somewhat by Shell and BP. But if you look from 1999 through the year 2005, they have gotten more taxpayer money for petroleum than any other company of that size. So this war has been a great win-win for them. They've gotten the money out of jacking up the oil prices, and they've gotten over $3 billion of our money from selling to the Pentagon. And that's mentioned on page 2. If we go into ExxonMobil in Congress, we find that between 2000 and 2006, ExxonMobil has given almost $4 million to Republican candidates. My question is, if they're making that much money, why don't these Republicans raise the price of political favors? I mean, if we could charge the Republicans with fascism, with secrecy, I don't know if we can charge them with greed, because they're just not getting enough money from ExxonMobil, is what it comes down to. The top recipient of political contributions from ExxonMobil is George W. Bush. And then we look down through, if you look on Open Secrets and look under ExxonMobil, you can find out all of the contributors or all the people ExxonMobil has contributed to. I also would suggest that you look at a website called Oil Change, because it offers you a chance to write to your congressperson about taking oil money, and when you check in, to write to them, the website shows you how much oil and gas money they've taken. So Oil Change is also very good. And I looked into Rex Tillerson, the ExxonMobil chairman and CEO. He just became that in January. And it's very interesting. His personal political contributions to Republican organizations were very small about 5 years ago, but as he got closer to the top of ExxonMobil, every year he kept increasing his contributions to Texas Republican Party and to the GOP until between now and 2000 he's given $14,450. Now, again, it doesn't seem like much money, but I don't think any of us have given $14,450. Is anybody here giving that much to any political? No hands? Well, I guess we better step up. So, basically what the ExxonMobil war boycott is about, and it's a long-term thing because not many people know about it, relative to the need, is to deprive ExxonMobil of money. And this has been very effective in other campaigns, but it's a very deep and long process. The purpose is not only to make them suffer economically, it's to let people in Congress know that this is going to go on and that their benefactor is going to be hurt as long as this war goes on and as long as we have this president or people who need to be convicted of war crimes. If Bush leaves office in 2 years, and I say if because I don't put anything past these people, if he does leave office in 2 years, he's still going to be a war criminal. He still needs to be prosecuted, as do all the rest of his cohort. So that's where we're going with this. And the other part of this is that, talking to economists about this, if ExxonMobil, let's say we could get 10 million people to boycott ExxonMobil, they would necessarily reduce their price to try to get people back. If the people have a moral commitment to boycott them, they are going to keep reducing their price, and it will cause other companies to start pulling their prices down also. Now, we, on Consumers for Peace website, you can see that we're very much concerned about people cutting down gasoline consumption. And whenever we can, we put forward information about that. So we're not saying just make cheap gas.